Long after the dust of countless battles settled over the world's spirit guild, whispers spread among those who survived. The 8 towering world spirits had unleashed a massacre, yet now they lingered on the monstrous Monkey King's back. Uneasy, their eyes drawn to the southern horizon. From that darkness emerged a golden fury. The Jiang Dynasty's chariots, pulled by monstrous beasts, cutting through the night like streaks of divine reckoning. And atop the lead chariot, the emperor himself, regal yet calm, stepped forward, his presence bending the fearsome air. Feng and Ling watched, hearts thundering, as the tides of fate shifted with each step he took. Martial God Asura, Chapter 473, Chapter 474, the stage is set for confrontation, respect, and the subtle unraveling of power. But who truly commands the 9 provinces when monsters and men alike tremble under one sky? The air trembled as a deafening roar split the skies, a monstrous primal sound that seemed to shake even the bones of the mountains themselves. In that instant, 8 colossal figures surged forth, their forms emanating an aura of terrifying power. The world spirits of the beast realm, each a living tempest of strength and fury, raised their heads to the heavens, their 4 limbs tearing through the air with blinding speed. Their gaping, fang-studded mouths gleamed with malice, as if eager to consume any who dared oppose them. They charged straight toward the gathered experts of the Jie clan and the 4 great powers, heralding a slaughter that promised rivers of blood and a storm of despair. Panic swept across the battlefield. The warriors of the Jie clan and allied powers could only close their eyes, unable to bear the sight of carnage that threatened to descend upon them. Trembling, they felt the cold shadow of death already brushing against their hearts. Meanwhile, the members of the World Spirit Guild watched with grim satisfaction, their faces etched not with compassion, but with a kind of concealed vindication. They did not intervene, for even their courage faltered before the might of the 8 world spirits. Any attempt to aid would only risk being crushed by the very forces they hoped would strike down their enemies. Then, in that instant of impending doom, a voice tore through the chaos, sharp, commanding, resonant with unyielding authority. "All of you, stop right now!" The voice descended like a tidal wave of power, reverberating through the air and into the very souls of all who heard it. The 8 world spirits, for all their might, froze. Their growls softened into caution. One by one, they retreated to the monstrous Monkey King's massive back, eyes flickering with a mix of fear and respect, all turned toward the southern horizon. Everyone present followed their gaze. A deep, rolling rumble arose from the distance. From the southern skies, a procession appeared, gleaming like molten gold. Chariots, immense and radiant, pulled by heaven realm beasts of staggering scale, floated through the night. Their brilliance cut through the darkness, dazzling all who beheld them. Behind these chariots marched tens of thousands of soldiers, clad in golden armor, their war banners snapping proudly in the wind. On them were inscribed the commanding characters, Jiang Dynasty. Feng's eyes widened, murmuring under his breath, "So, the Jiang Dynasty finally makes its move." Ling tilted her head, her expression tense. "They seem a bit late." The monstrous Monkey King's laugh rumbled like distant thunder. "No, they arrive precisely as they must," it said, eyes narrowing toward the approaching army, gleaming with amusement. The golden armored forces hovered in midair, halting not above the World Spirit Guild, but just beyond its threshold. Then, a voice like a storm broke from one of the chariots. "Jie Clan Chief, World Spirit Guild Head, come out here!" A surge of immense power erupted from the chariot, sweeping over the land, dissolving the monstrous Monkey King's bindings on the Jie clan and the 4 great powers. The battlefield seemed to pause in reverence. "It's the Emperor, the Jiang Dynasty's Emperor," murmured the World Spirit Guild leaders, brows knitted in awe. Relief and hope surged through the ranks of the Jie clan and the 4 powers. Faces that had been pale with terror now shone with exhilaration. Jie Xingpeng leapt toward the chariot, joy unrestrained, while the head of the World Spirit Guild moved with equal swiftness. Feng turned to the monstrous Monkey King, curiosity tinged with concern. "What do we do now?" The massive figure hovered, calm and unshaken. "No need to rush. It is but a boy surrounded by inferiors. I am curious what tricks he may bring." The chariot doors opened. A man emerged, radiating an imperious might that made even the seasoned cultivators feel their hearts tighten. Golden crown atop his head, golden robe flowing, he walked with the weight of a true sovereign. Behind him, Jie Xingpeng and the World Spirit Guild had followed, their posture one of utmost respect. Chu Feng's eyes recognized at once. This was no ordinary warrior. He was the emperor of the Jiang Dynasty, the master of the 9 provinces, a living legend. "I am the emperor of the Jiang Dynasty," the man declared, his voice calm yet commanding. "I greet the Monstrous Monkey King and Gu Tianchen." A smile touched his lips as he bowed slightly, hands clasped in respect. The Monstrous Monkey King's eyes narrowed, a flicker of surprise crossing its massive features. "Oh, you little boy know my title?" The emperor's tone was steady, unpretentious. 100 years past, your feats shook the continent. My dynasty sought your name across every corner. I grew up hearing tales of your achievements. To meet you now, it is a great honor." Gu Tianchen's reply was equally measured, acknowledging the emperor while aware of the delicate balance of seniority and power. Yet even amidst this respect, the Monstrous Monkey King's voice thundered, curling with menace. "Little boy, you are clever in respecting your elders, yet blind to the failings of your subordinates. You neglect your duty as ruler. Are you aware of your sins?" Ji Xingpeng's outrage leapt forth, pointing at the Monstrous Monkey King. "Monster, you dare to speak thus to the emperor? You seek death." But the emperor's gaze cut sharper than any blade. "I have erred." His voice was absolute, unflinching, a tide of authority that struck terror into Ji Xingpeng, forcing him to stagger back, head bowed, powerless to respond. "My absence these 2 years left the 9 provinces unattended. Only upon returning did I learn of this needless war. I rushed to prevent it, yet still arrived a step too late." He swept his gaze across the gathered cultivators, calm yet commanding. "What has passed has passed. Senior Ji Shi has perished by your hand. Right or wrong, all have paid the price owed. Let today's disaster remain contained, and let matters not deepen. What say you?" A chorus of bows followed, almost every cultivator bending in submission. Even Gu Tianchen could not defy the emperor's authority. But the Monstrous Monkey King's voice shattered the calm, eyes wide, mouth curling in a roar that split the air. "No!" The battlefield held its breath. A storm of power and will poised at the edge of history. The clash of might, honor, and duty had not ended. It had only reached the first tremor of its next wave. In the shadowed heart of the battlefield, a hush fell over the gathered crowd, thick as a storm about to break. The Monstrous Monkey King had spoken, and the words clung to the air like a blade. Faces twisted with tension, but 2 figures, Chu Feng and Ling, remained calm, their smiles quiet, as if daring the heavens themselves to act. They waited, intrigued, to witness what fury or judgment would unfold next. The emperor's voice, usually sharp and commanding like a drawn sword, now carried a strange gentleness. "Senior, they are but juniors in the grand scheme of the world. Grudges, they should be dissolved, not set in stone. Even if their past misdeeds were grievous, Chu Feng still thrives. Let them be, for they have already paid a heavy price." A faint smile brushed the emperor's lips, a rare softness that stunned the witnesses. Jie Xingpeng of the World Spirit Guild and other dignitaries could scarcely believe their eyes. The emperor, so often an overbearing tyrant, was humble. This scene shook their understanding to its core. It whispered of a power behind the Monstrous Monkey King so vast that even the ruler of the 9 provinces dared to tread lightly. But the Monkey King's eyes, burning like molten rubies, glinted with an unyielding fire. "Grudges may be dissolved, yes, but hear this. Mercy in killing only begets endless calamities." His voice rumbled like distant thunder. "I care little for these petty lives. They should never have dared threaten me. But my descendants, my sons, my grandsons, what of them? If their successors are weaker than these trifles, shall my line face extinction? And when I am gone, will you, already in your grave, uphold justice for me?" A silence swept the assembly. The logic was piercing, undeniable. The great powers, the Jie clan and the 4 formidable sects, would remember today. They would surely seek vengeance if the chance arose. Yet the emperor's response was steady, almost serene. "Senior, fear not. My life is limited, true, but the Jiang Dynasty has stood across the 9 provinces for nearly several millennia. It will endure. I vow, here and now, that neither they nor their descendants shall lay a hand upon your heirs, Chu Feng." or the World Spirit Guild's future generations. Should they transgress, the Jiang Dynasty itself will be the first to strike. The Monkey King's lips curled in defiance, a low rumble echoing from deep within him. Words are sweet, yet all sides are clearly aligned against me. Once I am gone, even if the Jiang Dynasty shields them, what losses shall I suffer then? His stance was immovable, his pride unbroken. The Emperor bowed slightly, understanding the weight of this wrath. Then tell me, what must be done to spare their lives? He asked, his voice carrying both humility and urgency. A grim smile spread across the Monkey King's face, sharp as a steel blade. The world is vast, and wrongs must be punished. I know their existence has shaped the 9 provinces, yet misdeeds cannot go unatoned. Each power shall offer 10,000 heaven beads to show remorse. Only then will I forgive them. A collective gasp rose like a gale. 10,000 heaven beads. These were not mere trinkets. They were the pinnacle of medicinal treasures, worth more than 100 million is. Profound beads each. Even the mighty Jiang Dynasty could scarcely summon such wealth. For all others, the demand was an impossible chasm. The Monkey King's terms were no mere request. They were a decree that pressed the living against the brink of despair. The Emperor wiped a cold sweat from his brow, realization weighing heavily upon him. Even the Jiang Dynasty cannot gather 10,000 heaven beads, he admitted, voice tight with unease. The Monkey King's eyes flashed crimson. Then they shall die. A wave of aura exploded outward, tearing at the clouds, rattling the stars, and flinging the Emperor's airborne soldiers like autumn leaves in a storm. The very heavens shuddered under his might. Senior, stop! The Emperor's cry rang through the chaos. His own power surged to meet the Monkey King's, colliding with a force that bent the very night. Wind, clouds, lightning, and thunder erupted, transforming the tranquil night into a tempest of heaven's wrath. Many could not withstand the overwhelming power. Some fell unconscious, others were gravely wounded, and a few met death in that fleeting instant. Half of the assembly had suffered grievous injuries under the weight of these divine forces. The Monkey King roared, a sound that shook mountains and rivers alike. Boy, dare you resist me? The Emperor, calm but resolute, met the furious gaze. I seek no battle. I ask only for mercy. Let the Jie clan, Yuangang school, free and unrestrained valley, hidden white sect, and fire God school begin anew. They shall offer 5 million profound beads each, as a token of their sincerity. He hovered in the air, a figure of grace and determination amidst the storm, hoping to temper the wrath of a legend incarnate. And so, in that turbulent night, the air thick with divine might, the balance between vengeance, justice, and survival hung by the finest of threads. Every heart present knew they were witnessing a tale that would be told for generations, a story of power, pride, and the razor's edge between life and death.